How's it going, guys? It's Joe. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm excited to show you this footage of GAC against Joni. So as you can see here, guys, pretty closely matched in top 80 GP. He's got about 400k more GP than I have, closely matched in Zetas and rank. He's got much more relics than I do and much more experience as well, as he's got 10 more rounds than I have. Mods wise, we're pretty matched up, as you can see here. He's got much more 6-dot mods than I have. However, this fight today is gonna be a bit more of a mind game than anything, as we both have Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and that's given us a ton of opportunity to strategize in terms of defense. So this guy has the ultimate ability of Supreme Leader Kylo Ren as well, as I'm about to show you, which is really tough to beat. So I've been practicing this a lot in my squad arena, with playing around with like gas teams and Supreme Leader Kylo Ren mirror matchups, and I've had not much success in this. So if you watch my previous video though, guys, I found a decent counter to this team of Supreme Leader Kylo Ren with the ultimate, and it's of a Jedi squad. So please, if you haven't, go back to my previous video and give that a like if you did. And in the bottom line here in the front, it looks like a really strong Grievous team and a really strong Nightsister squad as well. And what made it a bit more tough to decide what team to use in this particular matchup is thinking that there might be a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren on defense in the back line. So I have to really think about this and strategize. So with the BB-8 in this Grievous team, I can't go for my Sith Triumvirate, and unfortunately I can't go for my Jedi, because that's my counter to this Supreme Leader Kylo Ren at the moment. So I've kept my Sith Empire here. And this was insane, guys. This was a crazy battle. Like, I almost lost every single character, and with Sith Empire it'd be really hard to outrun this BB-8 at 313 speed. And even then I was just able to drop him, and look at my characters, they're almost all down. I regain a little bit of HP on Bastila Shan there. I placed Fear on Grievous, and I was so lucky I got the death mark there just in time before I was able to utilize my insanity. And at this point I only have 2 characters left, and that is an absolute monster of a Grievous lineup there. If I had used my Jedi, I don't think I would have survived, as I don't have the relics required to survive against a 9k offense B1 and a really strong Grievous as well. And with speed on that BB-8, they will always take the first turn and just obliterate your team just like that. So in the bottom here we've got Nightsisters as well, and I didn't want to risk fighting that, and I had to save some of my Jedi. So I didn't have any more use for my Grandmaster Yoda team, as I usually use that team to beat Grievous or Nightsisters. However, if there's a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren in the back line, I'll have to save my gas, my JKR and Hoda, so I didn't have use for GMY, so I threw him into this team. And this turns out like any other Nightsister team. So it's a pretty fastly modded Nightsister team as well. They went earlier than my Grandmaster Yoda, who's at about 310 speed, I believe, or 300 speed. And they're going for my GK at this point. And I was even contemplating whether I should remove GK here, but I'm so glad towards the end that I didn't, as this was a really formidable Nightsister squad as well. So I'm going for Old Darker here. I'm going to try and regain a little bit of protection up, but decided that I should go for Mother Talzin which is, I believe, a little bit of a misplay, as if I'd gone for Darker there, she wouldn't have been able to revive. So I've got Darker down now, and I'm going to go for Talzin. So I've got Talzin down, and Mother Talzin leadership can be really annoying, guys. They can return at any time. So at this point, I wanted to get as much banners as I could possibly get back. However, keeping in mind that I shouldn't let this team linger on for too long, as the basics that they use has a chance of reviving their allies. So in the backline, there isn't a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, which is a huge relief because I have already lost so many banners in that front line. So if we're doing the maths here, I lost about 11 banners against that Grievous team and 5 banners against that Nightsister squad. And my opponent's score is actually really efficient at the moment, as I placed my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren on defense, and I'm guessing he used his own Supreme Leader Kylo Ren to drop mine to get a really efficient score. So at this point, I still have my CLS, I still have Nihilus. Contemplating on whether to use this team. However, I only have them at G12 at the moment, and in the back line there's a Malak here on this team as well. And if you guys aren't aware, that's a really insane lineup, as Newt Gunray and Dooku can potentially just wreck your team, and even Jango. And there's a relicked up Nest as well. So I was even contemplating whether using my full gas team against this. However, I had to take a risk, as if I didn't undersize here, I wouldn't be able to beat that score. And this is where your defensive strategy really comes in, guys, because what I had in mind was that I didn't have much success using my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren on offense against a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren with an ultimate. Therefore, I placed him on defense. And that was pivotal in the defensive decision making. The other decision that I had made was that I kept Padme on offense, which was critical, as I was able to use her on the Nightsister squad. So at the beginning here, I'm trying to go for Dooku and very quickly drop him. I don't want to attack Malak at this point, as I don't want to lose any of my turns. I'm going to try and drop Jango's turn meter and slow him down a little bit. I didn't want to go for Newt. I tried to stun Nest here, but it's a pretty solid tenacity Nest, high tenacity. So I've got Newt here on Invis, and I've almost lost my G12 Nihilus, so it's not going too well for me. And I don't really want to hit Malak, so I'm gonna try and go for Nest for a little bit, and that obliterates my Nihilus there. So I literally could have undersized this and not had Nihilus in my team. So I'm gonna dispel that taunt. He's gonna re-taunt and eventually lose that taunt again. I placed the weapon tech on Han Solo there, so no one can revive once they're dropped. And he loses his damage immunity there. And I just got rid of Nihilus. At this point, I can go for Malak. And I really wanted to stun him here. And that Jango is making a lot of, creating a lot of trouble for us here. So try and get another stun on Malak. Get those counterattacks out. And we'll get a stun on Malak here, which is absolutely amazing. And now we're gonna do basics, try and get some of that protection back for 55 banners, so it was still pretty inefficient there, guys. I feel like I could have had more banners. And at this point, I'm looking at the scoreboard here and how much I need to make up for. So with Gas Solo here, guys, I'm going to try and get some of the banners that I lost. And his counterattacks and AoEs make for easy work of these scoundrels here, as you can see, guys. And I'm so glad that I held on to my gas team here, as I was also contemplating whether putting him on defense was a good idea. And we get about 63 banners here as we lost that protection. And at this point, thinking about it, every single banner counts, as 1922 is a really efficient score. I very rarely get up to 1920, so if I get up, I'll get my score up that high. That means I've done my bit. In the next matchup here, guys, I probably could have undersized this, but I was looking at a Rex leadership here as I put Shakti on defense, and I still had 3PO, so I just decided to throw him in with this Rex leadership. I was reading up on that Rex leadership as I haven't used that in a while, and it's pretty solid. Like, you get much more health there, and Rex is pretty fast already, so we take the first turn, give a bit of a turn meter to our team here. We can afford to have taunt on 5s. Gonna place confuse on JTR, throw that grenade. They're gonna do some work on our 5s, and unfortunately we don't have Shakti, so we're not gonna be able to regain much protection here. And I probably could have done this without 3PO or Echo for that matter. So I probably could have had a couple of extra banners there. However, since I'm really trying to be as efficient as I can be, and I really wanted to get the win, I wanted to make sure there wasn't any mistakes. And towards the end, I've got a Bosk-led bounty hunters and a Sith team before I get to the ships. And I was just calculating how many banners I really needed here, and this was crucial as I literally had to undersize both of these fights to get to the banner count that I needed to be in. And I was running out of teams here as well. So after much deliberation here, guys, I decided to use my first order squad and 4-man it against this bounty hunter squad. And I'm actually glad I had first order officer here, as the offense up always helps. I've got a little bit of recovery with the cleanse from Sith Trooper, and Kylo Ren Unmasked Leadership is always good for that as well. So after the AoE here, I drop all the health and protection a fair bit. Bosk's taunt goes up, but Kylo Ren's AoE drops Boba Fett. I'm able to drop Greedo, get some counterattacks in, and regain a little bit of that protection I lost. Lost a bit more from Boba Fett there, and I'm about to lose some more after Dengar throws his grenades. Get my AoE here and drop Dengar's protection a bit. However, I'm glad that Dengar didn't do too much damage on us, and I'm still gaining a little bit more protection here, but the assists from Sith Trooper are insane, and I got about 60 banners there. I was hoping for 61, and I think I lost too much protection on Kylo Ren Unmasked. And up at the top here is a Sith-led team. Emperor Palpatine-led Empire squad. And I really wanted to undersize as much as I could. So I utilized my Jedi Knight Revan lead with Bastila Shan and Hermit Yoda. Hermit Yoda is here so we get more damage through Master's Training, and Jedi Knight Revan lead in itself is already pretty amazing. So I was sure I could defeat this squad undersized this way. I'm gonna mark EP here as he's Relic 7 and he can be really annoying with his AoE and shocks. And that AoE from Darth Vader wasn't a threat at all. So this strategy was pretty straightforward. So I dropped EP fairly shortly there. Gonna try and use basics here on Hoda and get Master's Training on Bastila Shan here as well fairly shortly. Gonna get TIE Pilot in the back there with Mark, and now I can spread a little bit of foresight. Now I'm gonna target Death Trooper here. Going to dispel that taunt from Short Trooper. And now I'm gonna go for Darth Vader here. And it looks like I've got a solid banner count, as I've still got protection and health on everyone. So this should be the most efficient battle I've had thus far. 62 banners there. And calculating this, I actually lost hope because I very rarely get above 65 banners in my ship battles, and especially against a negotiator mirror. And this couldn't have turned out better. I found that this was the most pivotal battle in this GAC that got me the W. So as you can see here guys, it's your typical matchup here. I was trying to get buff immunity on HT there, which was unfortunate that didn't get applied. However, I got Anakin's ship really low, which I'm so happy about. I stopped hitting him and I forced that second ability on Negotiator there on the opposing team. I'm losing a bit of protection and health on my Anakin here. So I'm gonna bring out Plo Koon just to get a little bit of that back, and I'm gonna get that taunt back on HT just to get that heat off of Anakin for a bit. Use my second ability on Clone Sergeant there, and now I've got my second ability out as well. And it couldn't have worked out better that way. When I used that AoE, I was able to drop Anakin's ship and Clone Sergeant there, and HT is a machine. He's just taking all of that damage and not losing any of that protection. So this was amazing guys. This is the best banner count I've ever had on ships, and at this point my heart was pounding and I was celebrating as I won by just one banner. And it was an absolute intense GAC. Out in the front lines, that Grievous team was insane, Nightsister team was insane, and he even placed a Separatist with a Malak in the back line, which forced me to bleed so many banners. However, I will take the W. I will say that I'm really happy about this win today, guys. I hope you guys like the content today. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys do well in your own GACs as well. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.